Hiya folks, JD here, and today we're back up with the Xiaomi Fimi A3. Now, look at today. Beautiful, no wind. You can see the fog just settled on the floor. So there's absolutely no wind here today. Not like the flight test we did of this a couple of days ago, or last week rather. If you haven't caught up with any of the videos I've done so far on this quad, you can find all of them in the description should you want to catch up to see exactly what I've done and what I think to this point. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this out on just a little flight to begin with, just to see if I've got full control, then a little bit of distance, and then we're going to come back and have a little look at some of the other features as well. So let's pitch her forward and let's see how she's going. So far there's just, do you know what, a world of difference rather, in this quad, in the wind that I flew in, which is up to, I believe, if memory serves, wind speeds of I think 10 to 12, maybe 10 to 14 mile an hour. Now what I've had one or two of you say is after the flight test and after the video test last week, you noticed that the gimbal wasn't auto-returning. Well, in fact, I've done a couple of tests and it is auto-returning. What isn't auto-returning is my right thumb. So what you may be noticing is on some of the video, it may look as if after I yaw and roll and then bring her back around and then straighten her up at this point here, that I'm not actually straightening her up 100%. Now that's not done on purpose. That's just my thumb being, well, stupid, and my brain not telling my thumb to return properly. So to me, it feels as if it's returned, but in reality, it actually isn't. So if you are wondering if the gimbal is auto-centering, it is. It's just my thumb that's not actually sitting die straight on the analog stick. So therefore, you may be seeing that the gimbal, it may give the impression the gimbal isn't auto-returning. So what I wanted to do was go out today while we still had no direct sunlight, so I could then use this transmitter for a little bit of distance. So let's just stop her there. So for the second, we're 35 meters out. Those white LEDs are just absolutely piercing. So piercing. So what I'm going to do is just try and see if I can centralize this gimbal a little bit. There we are, move the gimbal down slightly, which gives us, pushes a bit more light into the gimbal. You should see a bit more video, a bit higher quality video, because it is quite dark. The sun has only been up for, I think it's, hang on, I haven't got my watch, there we go. The sun has only been up for best part of 10 minutes. So obviously we're not going to be having the full brightness as you would expect to have on a sunrise. So what I'm going to try and do is just take her out a little way and see exactly how far we go. I mean, for the second, I've got full screen, no problem at all. I've also got line of sight, 147, 163, no problem whatsoever. Still maintaining fantastic signal. Still see her. 213. Now we're crossing off into the other field. All I'm going to do is increase her height. Still got her. Turning around and bringing her back to me. What I don't want to do, bit of signal flappage. Just checking to see if there's no extra birds around her or anything like that. There's not, it's just her on her own, and she's coming straight back. Beautiful. The only thing I can see though, there we are. God, you know what, with those LEDs it's extremely easy to see exactly where she is. There we are. If I just stop her there, the LEDs here, I don't know how well they're going to come across on camera, probably not very, but those two white LEDs are so piercing. Oh, it's not just one or two in the left or the right, it's probably a cluster, but at the same time they are just insanely good. They really are. Now what I don't want to happen, because it's sunrise, the birds they're flocking all over the place. I don't want any animal to hit the quad. Not because the quad would down itself, but I don't want to hurt any animal. So this is why I was kind of being a bit sensitive when I took her out, because as soon as I took her over, oh, there we are, I'm just altering the brightness of stuff. There we are, let's just alter it a little bit more. There we are, so it's because it is a bit dark here. So for the second, I'm extremely impressed with how this quad handles and how this quad actually moves and how everything to do with this quad actually works. Obviously we know the downside with this particular transmitter display. If you don't, check out one of my other videos in the description and I talk about it. It's the transmitter video. I go at it in a little bit of length there, but overall, the full state of this particular quadcopter is extremely good. The flying ability is fantastic. The video is brilliant. I mean, for the price, I honestly don't think you can go wrong. And I'm not just trying to sell you a quad. I'm trying to give you my actual opinions on it based on multiple flights. Now you can see there the different trees. Oh, just absolutely fantastic. And so far, no seagulls. Brilliant. Do you know what? It's so nice to fly to remote pilot. It really, really is. I'm not overly high. I'm only 36 meters, which is well above the tree line. So I'm sure that I'm not going to hit any obstructions at any point. And it's well above where the birds are flying for the second. So if anything, they're going to see me as a predator and they are not going to go at me, because the way that it works with a lot of birds of prey, and I'm not trying to be the forward on this, it's just a little bit that I know, is that if a predator like a buzzard or an eagle is above a bird, then chances are that bird is going to either get the hell out of dodge quickly, because that buzzard might go after the bird. So it sees it as kind of more of a predator than anything else. It's just doing a little bit. We're going to take it back over because we don't, before this sun comes up. And do you know what? It's quite strange. If I turn this now, so you can see in the direct sunlight of where the sun is actually coming up over the trees, you can see the display is starting to white out. It's starting to not enjoy life. But also at the same time, I don't want to lose signal, which means that I'd have to resort to return to home, because I'm not really a fan of the return to home feature on this particular quad. It's not the best. It does work and it does come back, but at the same time it doesn't auto rotate the quad back to a forward heading. Just bring it down a little bit. Beautiful. It just well, do you know what? I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you, rather than me try to explain it in my usual sort of buffoonery way. I'm going to show you. So let me see. Let me smart flight, return to home. It's not far for it to return. I can cancel it any time by pushing any button. Now, normally a quad would alter its heading and then come back at you forward facing. This doesn't. This tends to just reverse, which is okay, because at least it comes back. But at the same time, I don't like the fact that it just reverses. It doesn't fill me with a lot of confidence. I like it that every time that I've flown, and it has come back, not a problem. I like that every single time I've initiated a return to home, it has been within a couple of feet of my pad. There we are. You get what I'm saying. I'm going to cancel that, and I'm going to take back control. I don't want it to land, because obviously I don't want to go back through the whole thing of setting it up and getting it back on and taking off again, because, well, we've only got limited time before this sun comes up. So 8 minutes we've been flying for 8 minutes and 20 seconds. And it's tremendous. I'm going to see now if I can alter this gimbal a little way into more of where the sun is. That's what the sunrise currently looks like where I am at. Now, some of these other features. What other features have we got? Well, we've got a hell of a lot. We looked at Orbit the other day, but unfortunately, we looked at a few, but unfortunately the battery was so low and I couldn't see the display. So it took me a while to figure out the battery was so low. Now, I've been told by a lot of people that Orbit actually alters your return to home coordinates. Again, I have no idea why they've done that. That seems like a really silly function to me, to be honest, because as far as I'm concerned, your return to home function should be your starting point, your starting coordinates from where you take off. So therefore, you know you can always come back to where you did take off. So I'm not going to be looking at Orbit today, but let's have a look what else we've got. We've got Follow Me. Now I'm going to be looking at Follow Me. So if I just bring her down and kind of bring her back so she's facing me. Now she doesn't track you. She tracks the transmitter. So it shouldn't be that much of a big deal if I have her out quite far. We'll soon find out. Follow me. So the drone will follow the RC. The RC is affectionately referred to as the transmitter. To fly automatically, make sure the feeler's open. Short press home to exit. So follow me mode, home point is RC. So RC again is my transmitter. Now, Follow me is quite a gimmicky feature, and I know a lot of you get annoyed with me when I say that, but I think it is. But at the same time, I'm not going to take it away from the people that actually have a real world use for it. Just because I don't, I'm not going to bracket myself in everybody else's category and just say, or everybody else in my category rather, and say that it has no use. But at the same time, for me, it really doesn't, but I like to try these settings out anyway to see exactly how they go. For the second, look at it. It's just following me beautifully. Now, when I did this the other day off camera, and I was flying just for myself, and I tried a bit of return to home, it got a bit confused, and a little bit confused when I started to walk towards it. It started to, well, not respond as I would have expected. I would have expected Twitter just move backwards. So what I'm going to do is just take a right and walk towards it. And today, must have been the bad wind that we had last week. See, it's not the nicest when it goes back. It really isn't. It is sort of wallowing a little bit, and it is stopping and starting, but it's not one continuous motion. What happens if I make myself more of a continuous motion? So if I'm slower, it's still jerking about the place, but that's okay. At the end of the day, I'm not going to pick holes at that. All I'm going to say is that it is doing what it says in the tin. Now, the battery is showing low battery, and we've been flying for 11 minutes. Now, I thought the last time this happened, it was just quite simply because of the weather was having an adverse effect. That's exactly what I said. But unfortunately, it doesn't look to be the case. There we are, just exited Smart Flight. Oh, we have a visitor in the field, my friends. So I'm going to, for the second, what I'm going to do, actually what I'll do is I'll probably just end it there, because the battery is low, as you can see from up here, and we've been flying for 11 minutes and 50, so I'm going to call that there, my friends. So I hope you've enjoyed. Thanks ever so much for watching and listening. I've been JD, you've been fantastic as always. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe and ring that bell too. Hello and welcome to all the new subscribers. I hope you're enjoying the channel. So until next time, my friends, happy flying.